Hello my friends and welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to show you how we can test our two mediating hypotheses. So as you remember, this is our PLS model, and basically we have four latent variables in this model. Three of them are reflective measurement models and one of them is formative. We also have age as a control variable, and we are going to test these two mediating hypotheses. And basically these two mediating hypotheses are directional hypotheses. So these are the first 5 steps of our procedure to evaluate a structural model. We focus on the collinearity statistics first. We would like to see all of the VIF values to be less than 5 or ideally less than 3. We would run 2 rounds of bootstrapping test. One round will be a one-tailed test to test our hypothesis and also the direct effects between the latent variables in our model. And the second round of bootstrapping test will be a two-tailed percentile bootstrapping test, and here we would like to assess the impact of the control variable on our outcome variables. Then in step 3 we will focus on models in sample predictive power, and here we are interested in evaluating the R-square statistics, and then we focus on the impact of exogenous constructs on the R-square values of the endogenous constructs in our model. So these are the threshold values for determining the size of the effects of exogenous constructs on the R-square values, and then we have to compute the unique contribution of each of the exogenous constructs to the R-square values of the endogenous constructs. And this is the formula that we are going to use basically to compute the unique contribution of an exogenous construct to the R-square value of an endogenous construct. You need to multiply the path coefficient between those two constructs by their zero order correlation, and then the results will be the unique contribution of the exogenous construct to the R-square value of the endogenous construct. Alright, and since we are going to test two mediating hypotheses, I'm going to show you how you can determine the type of the mediating effect. So this is based on the work of Nitzel et al. 2016, and in this diagram you would see how we can determine the type of the mediating effect. So as you can see, we have 3 variables in this simple mediation model. We have y1 as the predictor variable, y2 as the outcome variable, and m as the mediating variable. So the direct effect of y1 on m will be p1, the direct effect of m on y2 will be p2, and the direct effect of y1 on y2 will be p3. So to assess the mediation effect, we have to focus on the indirect effect between y1 and y2, which is p1 times p2. If the result of our bootstrapping test shows that p1 times p2 is not significant, then we have to focus on p3. And if p3, which is the direct effect between y1 and y2, is not significant, it means that there is no effect between y1 and y2. And if p3 is significant, it means that we only have a direct effect between y1 and y2. However, if p1 times p2 is significant, again we have to assess the significance of the direct effect between y1 and y2. If it is not significant, it means that we only have a indirect effect between y1 and y2. That is something that we call a full mediation. And if p3 is significant, we have to assess the sign of p1 times p2 times p3. So if you multiply these values with each other and you see that the sign of this value is negative, it means that you have competitive partial mediation. And if the result of this computation is a positive value, it means that you have a complementary partial mediation. So this is how you can determine the type of the mediation in your analysis. Okay, now let's run our model to get the statistics we need in order to evaluate our structural model. So I just run the model. Alright, now you can see the results report here. The first step is to assess the collinearity among the predictor variables. So I just click on this link and then I have to click on this tab. And now here you would see the VIF values for the predictors of job satisfaction and also the VIF values for the predictors of work motivation. And all of these statistics are less than 3, which means that collinearity among the predictors of job satisfaction as well as the collinearity among the predictors of work motivation are not matters of concern here. So the next step is to assess the significance of the past coefficients among the latent variables in my model and also testing the two directional hypotheses. And in order to do so, what I need to do is to click on calculate. Then I have to select bootstrapping and I have to select 10,000 subsamples, and also basic bootstrapping and percentile bootstrap should be selected. And since my hypotheses are directional hypotheses, I'm going to run a one-tailed test. As usual, the significance level should be 5% as well. So let's start calculation to get the results. Alright, now this is the result, and as you can see, the past coefficients between the latent variables in my model, all of them are significant. And if I click on a specific indirect effects link, you would see that one of my hypotheses, which is the impact of creating value on work motivation through job satisfaction, has been supported, but the other one, which is about the impact of communication skills on work motivation through job satisfaction, has not been supported. So I have also the confidence intervals for the past coefficients. If I click here, you would see the confidence intervals for the past coefficients of the indirect effects. And if I click on this link, again you can see the confidence intervals for the past coefficients among the latent variables. Let me run the bootstrapping test for one more time, because I'm going to assess the impact of age as a control variable on these two latent variables as well. So I just click on calculate, then I select bootstrapping, but this time I will run a two-tailed test, and then I just click on start calculation. Alright, now here is the results of our two-tailed bootstrapping test, and basically the impact of age on both job satisfaction and work motivation based on our two-tailed percentile bootstrapping test are significant. These two effects are significant. Also, the indirect effect of age on work motivation through job satisfaction is significant as well. Again, if I click on this confidence intervals tab, I can see the confidence intervals, and if I go to the past coefficients, I will be able to see the confidence intervals for the past coefficient of the effect of age on job satisfaction and work motivation here. So these are the two confidence intervals for these two past coefficients. Now I have all the information I need to assess my structural model. I have the VIF statistics here to assess the collinearity among the predictors of job satisfaction and also work motivation. I have R-square values here, I have F-square values here, and also to compute the unique contribution of the exogenous constructs to the R-square values of the endogenous constructs, I need the past coefficients, which are here, and also the zero order correlations between the variables in my model that are here. If I click on this tab, latent variable correlations, these are the correlations among the variables in my model. Okay, now I'm going to show you how you can report the results of the structural model evaluation, and basically it's a very simple job. What you need to do is to copy some information from your SmartPLS and paste them in Excel and then create a table. I have already done this, so let me just show you my table. And in this table, I have reported different statistics. I have reported the R-square values, the T statistics, the P values, past coefficients, and a few other statistics. And now I'm going to show you from where you can copy these statistics and paste them here. So I start with the R-square values of the outcome variables in my model. To get the R-square statistics, you can simply go to your SmartPLS, and then under PLS algorithm results, you can click on R-square link, and now here you can get the R-square statistics. You can simply copy them and paste them in these two cells. With respect to the pass coefficients between the variables, you can simply go to the pass coefficients link here and copy the information from this tab and paste them here. So the pass coefficients for the predictors of job satisfaction and also the pass coefficients for the predictors of work motivation have been reported in this column. Also note that the indirect effects have been reported in this table. So to get the indirect effects, you can simply go to this tab, indirect effects, and these are the three indirect effects, and you can simply copy them and paste them here. So you can simply copy this information and paste them here. Then with respect to the T statistics, p-values, lower bound and upper bound of confidence intervals, and also whether the effects are significant or the hypotheses are supported, you should be very careful. As you remember, to test the significance of the pass coefficients between the latent variables and also to test our two mediating hypotheses, we performed a one-tailed test. So all of these statistics that have been reported here are based on one-tailed test. And with respect to the effect of age as the control variable on job satisfaction and work motivation, as well as the indirect effect of age on work motivation through job satisfaction, you have to report these statistics based on the two-tailed test. So we have all of those information here in this tab and in this tab. In the first one, we have the results of the one-tailed test. So you can simply click on pass coefficients. You would see the p-values, the T statistics, and all of these information, as well as the confidence intervals. And regarding the indirect effects, you can simply see the information here, the p-values, T statistics, and also the confidence intervals. So these are based on one-tailed test. And regarding the control variable, again, you have to report everything based on the two-tailed test results. And if I click on pass coefficients, you can see the information here. So the impact of age on job satisfaction, the impact of age on work motivation, these are the p-values and T statistics, and also the confidence intervals to be reported. And with respect to the indirect effect of age on work motivation through job satisfaction, we have to report these information, the p-value and the T statistic that is displayed here under the two-tailed test. And then we have the VIF values here, and these are the values that you can simply copy from here. You just need to go to your PLS algorithm results and then click on collinearity statistics, and then after that you have to click on inner VIF values. So these are the VIF values that have been reported here. So we have all of the VIF values for the predictors of job satisfaction, the VIF values for the predictors of work motivation, all of them are here. And with respect to the F-square effect sizes, you can simply click on F-square link, and these are the statistics that have been reported for the predictors of job satisfaction and also the predictors of work motivation. And finally, we have to report the R-square decomposition values, and these are the statistics that you need to compute manually. So I'm going to show you how you can compute these statistics now. What we need is the pass coefficients that are displayed here, and also the zero order correlations between the variables. So for right now, what I need to do is to go to my PLS algorithm results, and then here from latent variables, and then from this tab, latent variable correlations, I can simply click on Excel format, and then I just paste the information here. And so you would see that this is a correlation table, and basically these are the correlation values between different variables. Now let's compute the unique contribution of creating value to the R-square of job satisfaction. So to compute this, what I need is the pass coefficient between creating value and job satisfaction, which is this value, and the correlation between creating value and job satisfaction. And based on this, you would see that the correlation between job job satisfaction and creating value is this one, creating value and job satisfaction. So let me just change the color to orange. So if I multiply this zero order correlation between job satisfaction and creating value with this value here, let me just change the color to green, to orange again. If I multiply this value by this value, the result will be 0.118. Now let me just do that very quickly, times this, and now you would see that this is basically this value. So this is the unique contribution of creating value to the R square of job satisfaction. Let me compute the other one. For example, the unique contribution of communication skills to the R square value of job satisfaction. So again, I need the correlation between communication skills and job satisfaction, which is this one. So let me just change the color into maybe blue, and here I have the pass coefficient between communication skills and job satisfaction. Let me just change it to blue again, and here if I want to compute that, it's very simple. I just select this times this value, and then this is the value that has been reported here. So this is the unique contribution of communication skills to the R square value of job satisfaction. Let me just compute the last one, which is this one. So the correlation between age and job satisfaction is this value. Let me just change the color maybe to this color, blue, dark blue, and then this is also the pass coefficient between age and job satisfaction. So I just change the color, and I can simply multiply this value by this value, and now you would see that this is the unique contribution of age to job satisfaction. And the good thing is that when you add these values, with each other, you would see that the summation will be basically the R square value here. So when I select them in Excel, the sum is displayed here, 0.192. This is exactly the R square value of here. So this is how you can compute the R square decomposition values, and you can simply add one column to your structural model evaluation results and report this important piece of information in your table. Now finally, let me just show you how we reported the structural model evaluation in our recent article. Let me just show it to you. So this is one article that we have recently published, and as you can see, the hypotheses are directional hypotheses. That's why to test these hypotheses, we performed a one-tailed test. We also had 4 control variables in our model, and to evaluate the effect of the control variables on the outcome variable, we considered a two-tailed test. Now let me just show you the results of the structural model evaluation. This is exactly the same table that I showed you. You need to create this table. We have one column for the outcome variables, and the R square values for the outcome variables have been reported here. Then we have one column for the predictor variables, the passes, the pass coefficients, and also the confidence intervals. Note that T statistics, P values, and the confidence intervals communicate the same message. So depending on the comments you receive from the journal that you have submitted your paper to, you can make a decision to select either T statistics, P values, or lower bound and upper bound of confidence intervals. So in this example, in this article, we have only reported the confidence intervals based on the comments we received from the reviewers of our article. Another important point is that you need to provide a note with respect to the confidence intervals that you have reported. So because some of these confidence intervals are based on a one-tailed test and some of them are based on a two-tailed test, it's a good idea to provide a statement that clearly shows which confidence intervals are based on a one-tailed test and which ones are based on a two-tailed test. If you look at mine, you would see that I have reported the direct effects and the indirect effects assessed by applying a 1/10 percentile bootstrapping test with 10,000 subsamples at 5% confidence level, and I have also provided the confidence intervals and the effect of the control variable assessed by a 2/10 percentile bootstrapping test at 5% confidence interval, and again I have provided the upper bound and the lower bound of the confidence interval. So this is how you can report the results of your structural model evaluation. So as you can see, one of our hypotheses was supported, H1 was supported, and the other one, which is H2, was not supported. And in terms of determining the type of the mediation, since this value here is a positive value, if you multiply this value with the direct effect between creating value and work motivation, which is this value, the result will be a positive value. And then based on this slide, you would see that basically the type of our mediation will be a complementary partial mediation. All right, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you find this video helpful.